English translation, 333rd contact. Sunday, 26th of January, 2003, 1812 hours.
It is a pleasure, my child, to greet you. You are most welcome. Actually, I was not expecting you or any of you until the 3rd of February.
Greetings, my friend. A visit on your birthday is planned. The reason I am visiting you today is partly to warn you and partly because Quetzal wants to bring you some more things he found in Sfath's estate. Furthermore, I am to remind you that the time has come for you to draft and disseminate your appeal, and also to send it to the governments, as Quetzal recommended to you on the 31st of December 1988. You remember that?
Oh, I see. Yes, I think so. The warning about world events, and the madness of warmongers and the threat of World War III, regarding the things of Quetzal that you have to deliver to me. There will probably be 2 or 3 more sayings or something like that Sfath left him from me, right? But why would you warn me?
So it is regarding Quetzal's mission. With regard to the warning, it is about the fact that various elements feel attacked and are not in line with your opinion, which you spread worldwide with your special bulletin. Things are therefore looming on the horizon again that could be very unpleasant and life-threatening for you. And regarding your appeal, you remember correctly.
Thank Quetzal for me. Of course, I also thank you for your effort. But as for your warning, I expected something unpleasant from the beginning, because there are too many irrational humans on the earth who shout for and cheer for every war and reach out to the murderous powers for their criminal humanity machinations, or even take up arms themselves to murder and cowardly destroy.
Your writing is very good, and you have set out the truth in it as it corresponds to reality. There is no doubt about that. Your published words, however, once again call your enemies to mind, at least those who, in their irrationality and in their lack of understanding, are of the same opinion as the criminal authorities who irresponsibly want to bring a severe war upon humankind.
You are talking about the U.S. President George W. Bush and all his supporters, advisors, accomplices, and sympathizers who howl with him like a pack of wolves in chorus.
Yes, that is what I am talking about. Such people do not belong in government positions.
I agree with you. But not only the U.S. President and his supporters and henchmen have to be mentioned in this context, but also the criminal Saddam Hussein in Iraq, the criminal Sharon in Israel with his like-minded ones, then also the Palestinian Arafat with his supporters and suicide squads, but also the Chinese Supremo and his satellites, as well as various heads of state of other countries, who lead a murderous regime or are otherwise irresponsible and inhuman killers. All of them have come to the helm of the government either through election fraud or lies and empty promises, or through bribery, murder of their opponents, or open naked violence. They should all be deposed by the people and put in lifelong safe custody so that they can no longer cause harm. Such creatures must be removed from their positions, deposed by the unity of the people and sent into lifelong exile, and replaced by just humble and unselfish, virtuous, honest, and outstandingly good leaders who are concerned for true peace, freedom, and harmony, and for the good of the people and humanity. But this is possible only when human beings become a real and truthful unity in which every political system is forbidden, whereby no party slogans are issued and can take effect, because then each individual human must make a decision solely according to their understanding, according to their reason and according to their own opinion, and thus is not influenced by party proposals and party regulations, etc. This requires, however, that human beings are really chosen for the leading positions who are free from all pretensions to power and greed for profit, and who in all modesty carry out, lead, and use their office only for the common good of the people and of all humankind.
Unfortunately, this will remain a pipe dream for a long time to come, because even with the threat of a third world war, or one that is actually taking place, the humanity of the earth will not change for the better. Only through the hard work of the instructions concerning the teaching of the Spirit, aka creation energy teaching, and the function of the creational laws and the recommendations arising from them, will Earth humans slowly change so that the first changes and transformations for the better will appear in 800 years at the earliest. But all those who work for this better, for the changes and for transformation, will be hated, denigrated, denied, and slandered by the vast masses, insulted and disgraced, unjustly discriminated against and condemned and even threatened with life. However, for all those who are committed to the good cause, true progress, evolution, justice, and the continued existence of human life, of all creatures and of the planet, these will be very arduous, hard, and deprived times. Many will be oppressed, and in the course of time will be misled and become cowardly, losing all their dedication and courage, if there are not many of them who have a healthy stamina and endurance, as is already the case at this time and since the existence of your grouping. Only the truly responsible and honest ones remained, and remain, on the path as it has always been since ancient times, while those who fell into deceit and dishonesty became treacherous and apostate, which will continue to be the case until the distant future. But this is also because they measure themselves only against themselves and believe that they have to stencil and equalize their fellow humans, whereby they attack their individuality. This then leads through their unjust views, demands, and thoughts to the fact that, on the one hand, they see themselves disadvantaged, and on the other hand, that they become of the erroneous belief that everything can only function properly if everything is designed as they imagine and wish. They cannot come to terms with the fact that they have only to look after themselves and form themselves, and also have to learn to accept others as they are, without objecting to their kind and wise of working or behaving only at their own discretion.
We say that everyone should clean up in front of their own door. Everyone has their own approach and has to cope with it. Of course, the work behavior can be objected to and corrected, but this does not entitle you to let yourself go and turn away from your obligation. In fact, it is the case that those who complain also make mistakes, which they have to correct just as much as those who are complained about. So there is no reason, and never will be for those who complain, to shirk their own duty and responsibility as a result of the behavior of others. For their duty and responsibility lies in bearing their own duty and responsibility to the fullest extent, and part of this is also to teach the wrongdoers correctly, and to give them all the necessary opportunities for improvement and change, just as much as one wishes and claims for oneself. Whoever does not do this, however, violates law and order, justice as well as the corresponding virtues and the dignity of true humanity. For in fact, as long as every human being must be given over and over again every chance and opportunity for change for the better, as long as he or she needs the chances and possibilities. We may only deviate from this if there is a real danger that something will be destroyed in the long term by a further giving of chances and possibilities. Our FIGU Association bylaws and the FIGU Association statutes are based on this sense.
Your words do not leave any ambiguity.
I was hoping for that. Ambiguity would only be harmful. I will also make my appeal in this form, and so I will speak plainly. Time is also pressing now for the facts to be called by their proper names. Just as I am now giving an indication of the time when the Third World War is actually threatening, and the prophesied end of days is to be the year 2006. In doing so, however, I leave open the question of whether this indication of the year must be measured according to the effective Emmanuel period, and so the year 2003, or according to the incorrect Christian calendar. That would be a good thing, no?
The High Council has also decided on this and decreed that you should give the veiled year.
The Earth's humanity must now make a choice, for according to the Enoch prophecy, the time is now at hand. There is now only the possibility of creating true peace, or of accepting the Third World conflagration, which will probably wipe out 2/3 of humanity if the nuclear, biological, chemical, and radiation holocaust is actually triggered and carried out. However, humanity still has the chance to change everything for the better if it becomes replete with rationality and stops the warmongering powers and their supporters, advisors and henchmen, and replaces them with powers that work unconditionally only for peace and for the good of the Earth humans and for the whole world. I will list these things in my appeal, which I think is best done in the form of another special bulletin.
Your idea corresponds to the necessity so that not only the rulers but also the human beings of the nations learn the truth. But now, dear friend, I must leave you again. Take due caution, for you must take the warning seriously. Goodbye.
Take care. Goodbye.
I should also send you greetings from Quetzal and also from Ta. You should have nothing to worry about him, because everything is going in a normal and pleasant frame. But now I really must go.